Okay, hello. Today I thought I would talk about the Object 430U, which is the new Tier 10 Russian medium tank. This thing replaced the Object 430, which was the piece of garbage that was the third Russian medium in the tech tree. So how this thing is different basically is it has a 440 alpha gun instead of the 320 that the other Russian mediums get, and it has a ridiculous upper hull and turret armor, unlike the other Russian mediums. So basically, we have it's kind of like a 113, except it's smaller and has really good camo values. So what makes this tank slightly overpowered in my opinion, and just another example of the power creep that's been coming into the game recently with all the changes, the 268 version 4, the whatever the heavy tank is, I think that is pretty good as well, although I haven't really taken much of a look at that. So what makes this thing slightly overpowered, in my opinion, is the armor and camo is ridiculous in this combination. So the upper hull here, as we can see, it's 160 angled like this. So standard rounds, it's pretty much never going to go through. And if it's slightly angled upwards, if you're shooting up at it at all, heat is not going to go through. When you're angling and wiggling, the upper hull is pretty much impenetrable. It's very reliable. And actually, out of all the tanks I've played at tier 10, this has my highest damage blocked ratio. So I block more damage and I block more shots in this than an IS-7, than a Conqueror, than all my heavy tanks. So this tank is quite ridiculous. Imagine a 113. So I have a 113 here. Imagine the same armor as a 113, but look how much longer the 113 is. And the 113 also does not have camo. This tank has ridiculous camo. So here we can see the concealment, 37%. Switch to a bat chat. Okay, we better put coffee on the bat chat to make it fair. There we go, 36%. The Object 430U has better camo than a bat chat. So that's a little bit broken in my opinion. But you know, this tank it's not ridiculously overpowered. The gun is not incredible. It has the second lowest DPM for a tier 10 medium. The E50M is the only tank that's worse. The accuracy is quite poor. Gun handling's alright, but it does not have that shell velocity of the other Russian mediums. The advantage of the other Russian mediums is that it has really fast APCR with a pretty high pen. This tank only has a 252 pen, which might sound alright, but since RNG is a thing in this game, 252, let's just pull up a calculator here. 252 minus 25% of 252, as is the RNG in this game, and we can see 189. So 189 millimeters of penetration is what you can roll for when you're firing the standard AP. So that's just literally not going to pen anything at tier 10. That is why this is a heat spam machine. You're going to lose a lot of credits playing this tank. Luckily it does have 340 heat, which is quite nice, but of course low shell velocity and bad accuracy means this tank can miss a lot of shots, which is a bit of a problem. Yeah, so as for equipment, of course, you know, I ripped all my improved equipment off the 907 for 200 pounds each, and we have all the OP ranked battles equipment here for bonds. Rammer, for stab and vents, that's what I've gone with. Of course, I have a ridiculously good crew because they've played 1,600 battles. That's with boosters. That's in a 907 as well. So they have a lot of experience. So they have like 7 skills now. So pretty much everything. Brothers in Arms, camo repairs. They've got all the good stuff. So I have 466 view range without optics, which is very good. Alright, well, that's about it for this tank in the garage. Let's jump into some gameplay. Okay, here we are on Sand River. Pretty much perfect matchmaker. So there's tier 9s, there's tier 8s. We're in that like matchmaker where it's like 3, 5, or I can't, whatever. This is pretty much ideal. There's no artillery. This is where you have those big carry games. This is where you have those big damage games. I find on NA, when you're playing tier 10, it's usually full tier 10 games these days. Now, those can be more consistent. However, I find when you're playing against tier 8s and 9s like this, in this sort of matchmaker, you can kind of get those big damage, those big carry games more easily when you're playing it than when you're playing against a full enemy team of tier 10s. So Sand River here. I find if I play in the middle here, I'm gonna get crossfired to death. So that's why I'm coming down here south, despite not really having very much support. The north here, it's not really meta anymore to go up in the north, so there's not really going to be much of a fight there. I'm just trying to go where I think I can get damage quickly. Now, this Wheezy hasn't really spotted anything, so I'm just going to poke up here and look for some spots. There we go. I get the spot, and I'm not lit. I take a shot there from the middle. Since I'm not lit, I know that that T-62A was shooting at the Wheezy, who I assume would be lit. It's just kind of unfortunate. The Wheezy probably just doesn't have a very good camo crew, and even if he did, this tank has ridiculously good camo. This tank has light tank levels of camo, so that's probably why the Wheezy was lit. I'm not. I probably just have a way better camo rating than him. Anyway, so I'm gonna push in deep here. I'm just gonna go for it. That's because there's not really very many tanks on the enemy team that can really contest me. I'm going to be the strongest vehicle in this game by far. As well as... Okay, there we go. I'm going to a very strong position even if there are plenty of enemy tanks, which there are. So I don't really have any support here, but you know, I feel okay staying here. Because I'm hauled down. As you can see, I just bounced a grill, I bounced an S-turf. So, bounced the object 263. That's because I'm playing in a... not necessarily a hull down. They can probably see a little bit of my upper plate, but the thing is, the upper plate is also pretty much going to be impenetrable. It's just, I just want to make sure I'm hiding my lower plate here, which is the weakness on this tank. Now, something to note there, I'm spamming heat, of course, because I'm not going to be able to pen this guy without heat. I always thought the weak spot on the 263 was the gun mantlet. However, I looked at it in a tank model website, and it's really not. Actually, just shoot the superstructure if you can. If you just get it flat on, hit the superstructure. Baiting another shot from the griller. He's just going to hit my turret. I'm wiggling around. He's not going to be able to pen my turret at all. And there we go. Still, you can criticize me for spamming heat into a grill. However, I'm just keeping the heat because you never know who I might need to be. I might need to be shooting at the 263 next. The grill might not be an option all of a sudden, so I keep the best ammo loaded for this situation. People call me a gold spammer, whatever. I'm just playing the game for the maximum. Like, I'm playing the game how I want to play the game, spamming heat because it's giving me an advantage. There we go. So this flank is pretty much collapsed, literally just because I'm here and we have the help of just an Indian panzer who's pretty much going to be useless. So here we're up to 3,500 damage. Spamming heat right into the T-34's turret. If we're firing AP there's no way we're going in. That's why this is a heat spam machine. So I'm just going to push up here. Now this game, it's not really a big carry as you can see, but we're just putting this tank in the correct position. You could probably have had the same result in any other Russian medium. However, this tank is just, it's going to be a little better in this situation because, for example, if a T-62A is going hull down, you can probably still see most of the time a little bit of the upper plate there. And the upper plate is going to be an easy penetration. However, on this tank, hitting the upper plate, it's not really going to go through unless it's a really high penetration round. And now we're switching to the standard AP because we don't really need it against these tanks. And this is just pretty much cleanup damage at this point. I'm just going to go for the kill shot here on the 62A. There we go. You do have to aim a little bit more with this gun because the gun isn't really as good as the other Russian medium guns. What makes this tank is the armor. So there we go, bouncing another shot from the mill there. We're up to 3,200 blocked, 5.3k damage, so this is going quite well. We're just going to push into here, push in hard into the mill here, and see if we can get some more damage on him. Now, if this was a carry situation, I'd still be firing heat, but I felt pretty confident here, and there we go, we can actually get a track shot off, so better to fire the AP here. And he doesn't really have a very good shot on us, and I guess he's clipping here. But even if he had his full clip loaded, he wouldn't really be able to kill us. I make a mistake here. I don't know. I don't know why I decided to shoot the turret there. I was just stupid and pointless. But whatever. We're up to 6.3k, and now it's just hunting down this one last stirve left. So 6.3k, 2.4 assists. This is gonna really help boost that markup. And that's what this game is. This game, when it's these tier 8 games, you really have to make sure you're having a big impact, especially when there's no artillery to counter you. It's a great situation. So there we go. We're just going for the... I think we hit the hatch on the S-turf there. However, you probably just overmatch him, since this is a 122, which is helpful for overmatching SDRVs and whatnot. Alright, so 7k, 2.4k says, yeah, that's a pretty good game here. Okay, let's talk about a match with a terrible matchmaker on a terrible map. So, this map is puny, it's tiny, it's a city map, quarter map, full tier 10 game. There's Artie, there's big alpha TDs. So this is a quite difficult situation. Medium tanks don't do very well on this map in the first place, since it's so small. And it's full tier 10, so everything on the enemy team is going to be able to hurt you, everything is dangerous. So this is going to change my playstyle quite a bit. I'm just going to be, the whole game, I'm going to be more careful than as if I was fighting tier 8s. So we get quite lucky here at the start. So I'm spotting this cross, I'm coming and playing this middle position, and we get quite a lot of assist damage, which is great for pushing the mark up. And we also get a snapshot there on the Conqueror that was crossing. So I'm just sitting here, if someone pokes out, I want to take a shot, and then I want to quickly duck into cover. As well as this position, I can shoot into the city and get damage on people crossing in the city. So I'm just kind of playing carefully here. I don't want to push up too aggressively. I just want to play it safe. And another nice little snapshot there right into the back. And we're also getting some assist damage by playing this position. I usually don't experience getting this much spotting damage, but this is great because we're already up to 2,500 spotting. That's all spotting. None of that's tracking, I think. So what that means is the game actually only counts either assist or tracking. So if you do 1,000 track damage and 1,000 spotting damage, it's only going to count one of them. It doesn't count both. It counts which one is higher. So if you do 2,000 spotting and 1,000 track, it only counts at 2,000 spotting. So here we're getting some nice side shots into these heavies that are crossing. However, it's we're not putting out our full DPM, which is not ideal. However, this E4 drives into a terrible position. He's putting himself into a great crossfire for us. So, and he's kind of totally ignoring us. He's not even pointing his gun at us. So, this is great. We can just farm some easy damage on him. And we're just making the most out of this bad map and this bad matchmaking. Now I'm just going to aim a shot right through the turret. There's a truck in the way, so I had to aim above that, and got a pretty lucky shot there. Alright, so I'm just like holding this position. I'm not really worried about anyone pushing me. I'm just sitting here. I can see that we're kind of losing the game. But I don't want to make any ridiculous plays and risk and throw my hit points away. So I'm just staying in my advantageous position for now as it's working. Get a nice shot onto the 100 turret again as he's crossing. And we're just kind of playing here, just seeing how the game develops and getting out shots where we can, where we're given opportunities. That's what's happening. Looking at the mini-map here, we can see we're losing the 8-9, kind of the field part of this map. So I'm just, I'm being wary of that. I'm looking at my mini-map. I play with quite a large mini-map compared to some people, which is good. I see that this 13105 is making a play. And since we're going to lose our base, I just kind of want to get out of that area. And I want to find some other ground to fight with. We want to try and help the other part of the map so we're not losing both parts of the map. And there we go, another shot on the 100 turret, up to 4k damage with 2,500 spotting. So this is already going to be enough to bump the mark up a little bit. So we've already made a good impact in this game as far as I'm concerned. However, it's not over yet. I can see that the base has been lost, and I don't really want to push too far. I don't want to overextend myself, so I'm just going to go back here and I'm going to defend. I can see that we're probably going to lose the city and our base. I was firing heat, upper plate of the 430U, we bounced. Just RNG and the good armor, so I go for the lower plate there, and I'm bad, so another shot. So we've already flunked 2 shots in this 430U, and he's making his shots, so it's kind of unfortunate. However, we finally do get the penetrating shot in there, and I was just trying to angle my armor there. This batchet pushes in, so I'm just gonna poke out and just take the snapshot on him. I'll leave him on 13 hit points, and then the STB kills him. There we go. So we kind of cleared out the guys pushing into our cap. I see there's 2 unspotted, but it turns out that the TVP was on really low hit points. So I'm trying to get a shot through the rails on him here. It doesn't look like that's quite going to work, and I just poke out. There we go. And of course, this tank has bad accuracy, and we just hit his tracker, and unfortunately not able to take him out. So as I'm looking at the minimap here, I can see that we're about to lose the city. It's kind of collapsing here. So I kind of want to get back to my original position here. Take out this DVP and try and get some supporting fire into city without risking my tank too much. So I can see this 215B is kind of a little bit distracted, so I can poke out here and finish him off with an AP round. And actually, we're kind of pulling back the city a little bit. I want to try and get a shot on this 268 version 4. If I can, I'm back to the heat here so I can pen him. Well, you can't really pen an object 268 version 4 with heat reliably anyway, because the armor is ridiculous. I went for a shot there on the upper plate, because the upper plate is actually has a potential of being penned, unlike the lower plate when you're firing heat at it. But we hit our ally there, just kind of unlucky, kind of poked out at the wrong moment. We didn't do any damage to him, just hit his track. So I'm just kind of waiting for shots here. I don't want to charge in. If I charge in, there is a potential that they're going to kill me and I could throw this game. So I'm just waiting here for the opportunity. Unfortunately, he kind of overexposes himself and gets taken out. But there we go. The 268 version 4 didn't really realize we're here, makes a cross, and we're able to get a shot into his side. Alright, so situation here. It's 2v2. We've got this SCB is a one-shot against the heavy and TVP. There we go. That was a little bit of a mistake there. I should have been more careful, more wary with that TVP, and I get out of there immediately. I repair my fuel tank so I don't get set on fire. So I'm just kind of being careful here. I'm hesitant to make this cross and push forward because I don't want to get shot in the side by that 705A. It's a little bit of an awkward situation, so I'm just trying to spot by doing a side scrape there, but it's kind of awkward because there's this train obstacle behind me. I can't really get enough distance. So actually, what I saw there was interesting. I saw this this name tag of the dead enemy tank move, so I knew that the TVP had bumped him just by the speed it was going. I didn't think it was a 705A. So I felt safe there to make the cross because I knew that the TVP wasn't going to be pre-aiming me anymore. And yeah, he's right. So he's coming back into his base, and I was just wondering if he was going to make that poke, so I kind of preempted there, but he didn't really. So I'm just going to push into him. I'm taking this risk that the 705A isn't going to be in the middle, because I probably would have spotted him if he was in the middle anyway. So I'm just going to poke around here and finish off the TVP. Okay, so at this point, I thought the 705A would be closing in, so this is where I make the decision here to just cap. Now, I rarely ever cap. This is probably 1 in 1,000 games where I actually win the game by capping. I always try and go for the damage. If you look at my recent stats, it's like base defense points. There's like thousands of them, and then there's like very, very few cap points. So I rarely ever cap. I'm almost certain that I could have gone and killed the 705A. However, I just didn't want to take the risk. He can one-shot me with a high roll, and yeah, so I do make the choice to cap the game out. And the 705A, turns out he never actually appears, so we do just cap this game out. I probably could have been greedy and went and got the damage and outplayed him and killed him pretty easily, but I just didn't want to throw the game. And I thought by capping that I would bait him in, I would get the damage anyway, but it turns out that we just win by cap. So that was that game, just making the most of a bad matchmaking situation, a bad map, artillery, tank destroyers, things that are dangerous to you. So just being careful, being aware of all the angles that you're exposed to, not taking unnecessary risks, and just playing, trying to stay alive to the end of the game so you can get that damage out even in a bad situation like this. Alright, finally, and here we go. This is the last game where I do get the 3rd mark of excellence on this tank. At this point in the session, it was like 94.8 or 94.9. I was so close, and I went into the next battle. I saw this matchmaker, and I thought, like, this is blessing from RNGesus here. This is pretty much a perfect game, a great map for this tank. We're fighting tier 8s. It's on Malinovka. A map that I can do well on, I feel really comfortable on. However, like, looking at the matchmaker, as you can see, our team has no artillery, their team has 1 artillery, so like not perfect. If there was no artillery, this would be a perfect matchup. But you know, it's pretty close. It's only a tier 8 artillery. It's probably not gonna like destroy me. So I'm still pretty happy about this matchmaker. So what I'm doing here, Malinovka, there's not a lot of artillery going up the hill. This tank has the speed. It's a little bit faster than a 113. It's not as fast as, like a 140, 907, but it'll still get up the hill. Probably, it could get up there first before any of the enemy tanks, except maybe like the Leopard's gonna get up there much faster, but whatever. So I'm going up the hill here. Now, I do have an AP loaded, you might notice, as my first round this game. That's because on Malinovka, likely the first thing that I was going to be shooting at there was a light tank yodeling through mid, light tank crossing, and that's what I thought I could be shooting at first. So the AP round's obviously going to be the better choice if I'm shooting at a fast-moving light tank. However, now I'm switching back to heat because I'm going to be shooting at the front of a tank coming up the hill. That's going to be likely the next thing I'm going to be shooting at. So just choosing the right ammo for what situation I'm most likely to find myself in there. Alright, so where you want to go when you're up on the hill is you want to kind of use this windmill here to cover yourself from arty, and you want to use these bushes to spot down if you get here first. So I'm getting here first. I'm kind of in a not really a hull down, but my lower plate is going to be probably going to be hidden if I spot people early enough. So I'm just kind of waiting here. I'm hoping they're going to come up the hill, and I'm just going to be able to farm them. That's the goal. And as you can see here, my team is just starting to die out. It's not going well. I've already lost a tier 10 tank, which is not good when it's only 3 tier 10s on your team. So I'm kind of like, what's going on here? They're not really coming up the hill. This position isn't working. There we go. So it's already 3-0. I've done no damage. So I'm not really helping my team in this position if there's going to be no enemy tanks to shoot. So I'm just kind of spotting here. I'm kind of looking, where are they? So there's literally no one coming up the hill. So I want to come down to this low ground and use these bushes to try and spot out common positions. And there we go. We can see this Type 4 slowly making its way up the hill. I get spotted there, but I'm kind of protected. I'm probably not going to get hit there, and I back out right away after just getting a quick shot into the Type 4. Now I kind of want to come and move up and see if I can get any sort of more easy shots into this heavy tank here. Type 4 heavies are really annoying to shoot at. As you can see, like, the armor is just going to troll me. That shot kind of goes a little bit too into the center and hits the mantlet. And another thing there, our only other tier 10 tank left, the 268 version 4, just YOLOs and dies for some reason. I don't know what he was thinking. He just totally drives in. A tank has ridiculous armor, but it's not going to be invincible when you give the enemy team tons of angles on you. So we're the only tier 10 tank left alive on our team. It's 1-4. This game's not really going well, but you know, I just want to try and hold out and do as much damage as I can. So I'm just spamming heat into this Type 4. We're eventually getting some penetrations here on this guy. Just trying to get those flat parts of his armor. And there we go, we finish him off. And we weren't even getting lit there because we were shooting through those trees. So, kind of a tricky situation. I just want to poke out here and see if I can spot anyone that's camping in that sort of common camping position. I can see that we're losing the south, so this is kind of strange. There's no one else coming up the hill, so at this point I kind of want to make an aggressive play. There's no one coming up the hill, so I just drop off there. I don't drive down the conventional path of the hill because that's going to be more exposed. I get lit here, so immediately I know there's going to be someone camping here, and yeah, there's an ISU, so we're just going to aim, and of course we don't penetrate, but you know, we're getting some assist for this. Alright, so I'm just going to aim in this time and blind shot. I don't get the kill there. Actually, it's kind of surprising. I thought that would have been a kill shot, and of course we get hit by arty. I use my med kit to get rid of the stun because, you know, I'm kind of in a hectic situation right now. I want to have my crew working at full capacity. Now I see a bunch of tanks just camping down here. This is really weird. They didn't go up the hill. They're just camping down here. So I'm just going to try and get shots into them. So I see this tank. It's a big threat. I want to focus him down. The 257. Now the 257 has ridiculous side armor, so I'm actually just not shooting him in the side armor. I'm just shooting his front pike with heat because the side armor is like, it's so troll. Like, I don't even know where to pen that thing. It's ridiculously OP. There we go. So we're just shooting him into the pike with heat. But you know, I'm kind of worried in this situation because I'm lit. The arty's going to be reloading. I'm going to be getting shot at, so I don't really want to stick around there too long, and my team is not really supporting me very well. But I see this T-34 here, so I want to take some of these opportunity shots. And there we go. We're just kind of playing this position now, where we're less exposed to the enemy team. And I see this tank destroyer is quite a big threat. We get lit. Arty's in play. Like it's kind of a tricky situation I've put myself in now. So I'm just kind of trying to move around. I don't want to stay still for arty. And then I see this Type 5 heavy closing in, which is I'm really scared at this point. This guy's just going to push me. My team isn't really appearing to do much damage to him at all, which is kind of unfortunate. And there we go. I get hit by artillery. Takes out our driver, so immediately I have to use the med kit again to fix my driver. So this isn't really going well. I don't have the gun depression to shoot at this Wheezy tank destroyer, whatever that thing is. So I don't want to overexpose myself and get shot. He fires, so you know I have an opportunity here, but I don't know what other tanks are gonna have shots at me camping in their base, so I don't want to like YOLO over there and take the shot. I see that it already fires, so I'm going to be safe for a little bit. And then this light tank, this ELC thing, gets spotted in the mid, and those things are so hard to hit. It's really annoying. I'm kind of failing. I failed my first shot there. I think I'm going to fail all my shots on him. Oh, actually, no, I do connect an AP round there that I loaded, but I think he's going to get away here. Yeah, so at this point, I'm down here low in the water, so I'm thinking, like, our team doesn't really have very strong presence on hill. There's a leopard pushing up. Type 5's there, so I'm just going to use this as my opportunity to run away before it's too late. However, this is where it's kind of risky. I remember I do bleed some HP at some point here, because I guess I just waited too long to retreat. So this is kind of a turning point in the game, where this Type 5 heavy, you know, he's aggressive, he pushes up, and let's see here. Yeah, I get lit and a Type 5 heavy. That's really unfortunate. I get lit there, and then this guy tracks me. I get hit by someone camping in their base, so I've just lost 1,000 hit points, over 1,000 hit points there, which, you know, it really makes this game kind of impossible to carry in the end, losing all those hit points. So the fact that I was in that position, I don't know how the game would have played out if I had just stayed and held my ground in that position. But, you know, I think I did make the right choice of getting out of there. I probably would have just died in that position. And at this point, I just want to play a little bit more cautiously now that I've lost all my hit points. I want to snipe. But yeah, that was kind of a turning point in the game there, kind of waiting too long to get out of that position and allowing that Type 5. If that Type 5 wasn't there, I wouldn't have gotten lit. I probably wouldn't have taken any damage getting out of there. So, you know, probably should have retreated a few, maybe like 30 seconds to a minute earlier. I don't know. But yeah, so kind of mad at myself for that. But, you know, it is what it is. We're still up to 3,700 damage with 1,600 assist, which, you know, that's not enough yet to move the mark. We're not quite there yet, but, you know, I feel like I can still have enough impact in this game. So, like, I'm just sitting here sniping, waiting for them to push in. They have the advantage. It's 5 to 8. They have their tier 10s left. We do not. So the 5 to 8 score, it's even more hopeless than 5 to 8, because we're tier 8s and tier 9s, and I'm the only tier 10. They have all 3 of their tier 10s left. So it's actually, the situation is much worse than it seems even. So at this point, I just kind of want to push back up the hill, because nothing's really getting lit. Our team's not really being able to do damage, but maybe if I'm up there, I'll be able to spot something, get some better shots. And there's nothing really else that I can do besides go up the hill. And I'm also going to be safer up the hill because their team doesn't really have the presence up there. So I just want to try and keep my distance, take kind of like a Hail Mary shot there at the Wheezy that doesn't really have any hope of actually hitting him. Another one here. That one actually connects, and we're able to get some damage. Now I see this ISM thing. He's one of the guys that bled us. He hit us when he was camping in the base, and we're just going to kind of snipe heat at him as he's kind of in this weird sort of position down there. And now this Type 5 is lit in the open. I take a blind shot. That, if I remember correctly, that does connect, and that does penetrate. Alright, so this T10, he's kind of in an interesting position there. He's probably not going to get very good shots from down there, given the situation. So I just want to try and get up to these positions here where this mill is. I want to try and use these bushes to spot out their team and just kind of play a war of attrition, just trying to get bleeding shots, trying to slowly pull the game back, trying to exploit their mistakes. I don't want to be too aggressive here. I've already lost all my hit points, so I'm just going to just kind of play the spotting and sniping role at this point. Which, you know, this tank, it's quite good at spotting. It's not that good at sniping though, because, you know, you have the camo, so you can kind of spot, but not too good at sniping. So I see this leopard is coming up the hill, and, you know, I'm thinking, well, the game is, it's 4.5 minutes left. They are winning the game, so I would expect them to start being more aggressive here. Now I don't really want to fight these tanks from this position, because I'm going to be lit here. Artillery could hit me, and I don't really have the gun depression there, and it's very close. So I'm just gonna retreat. I'm just running away. I can see that they're closing in. If I'm gonna fight them from that position, they're gonna be able to surround me more quickly. So I just want to get to the top of the hill. That mill is just kind of a sacrifice. There's nothing really I could have done to save him. If I were to go fight with him, I wouldn't have the gun depression to play that position, and I just would have died with him as well. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna kind of make my last stand on this hill here, beside this windmill, and I'm just gonna try and farm these guys as they come up to me. Use these bushes, and here we go. This 257. We have heat loaded. 257. You know, the side armor is ridiculously OP, but the front armors are really weak. So we're just gonna get that shot there. Playing hull down against this IS-3, and I see this leopard. The leopard is he's the big threat. So you know, I just take that risk, and I turn my turret a little bit. The IS-3 still can't really pen us at all. And now we're just gonna farm this IS-3. IS-3, he's in the open. We are hull down. So we're just going to keep poking, boom, blasting the heat right through him. And I'm actually switching to an AP round here. That's because I only have 7 heat rounds left. We're up to 6,000 damage. And, you know, I feel the AP round, I could low roll and bounce the IS-3, but, you know, it's almost always going to penetrate the front of an IS-3. So we're just shooting him. There we go. And hit the lower plate. Now I'm switching back to heat because, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be shooting at the Type 5 heavy or whatnot. So this game, it's pretty much over. I don't have really enough hit points or time left to carry this game, so I'm just going to push down, see if I can find where that leopard went, see if I can get the kill shot on him. Just using these bushes here. Like 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in this game. Yeah, so I make a mistake here. I poke out and I sit there for too long trying to find the shot on the AMX, and I bleed another shot from the leopard. I should have just given up on that. I was just getting greedy at this point. I'm up to 6.8k damage. And so what's going on here? I can't really fight that AMX. He's not in a position where he's really giving me shots, and he's not pushing up. So I see this Type 5 heavy, and he's kind of the threat. So I'm a one-shot. This game is pretty much hopeless. There's no way I can win this game. The Type 5 heavy, he just had to shoot anywhere near me with his HE gun, and he's going to kill me. There's going to be a leopard coming up behind me. There's still arty in place, so once I'm lit, I'm probably going to die. Yeah, so and there's only 2 minutes left, so this game is fairly hopeless for me at this point. I just want to try and get as much damage as I can out of it, and where I see the damage is from this Type 5 heavy. So at this point I thought I would just get artied. Fortunately, I was kind of moving around there. I was wary of arty, so he doesn't kill us. We're on 94 hit points. The Type 5 misses, so I'm just going to take this opportunity to try for it a little bit. 7.2k damage. We're just going to aim into the little cheek there where he was exposing. We're going to be able to penetrate him. Now, I kind of make a mistake here. This shot, I probably shouldn't have taken that shot. I probably should have just backed off and predicted that this leopard. Because of course the leopard's going to come up and kill me. So if I had just kept backing up and I didn't even need to turn my hull. If I just had pre-aimed on where this leopard would have come through, I could have maybe survived a little bit longer, gotten the kill shot on him, and maybe I could have finished off the Type 5, and then I would have probably died soon after to arty or something. But you know, I feel like I did make the most out of this game. It was a crushing defeat. It was pretty hopeless, but you know, we were able to farm some good damage out of it, and this was the 3-mark game, so yeah, let's go take a look at the results screen. So there it is, the 3rd mark of excellence, defeat, of course, high caliber. This was 9,000 damage, like 9.1k even. So it looks like we hit 2 blind shots. I remember that one blind shot that I took on the Type 4 heavy. I'm not sure, I can't remember where the other blind shot was, but we did hit it. So 9,000 damage there, 1,600 assists. So obviously over 10k combined. That's gonna really help push the mark up. And I was already extremely close to this, so this pushed up way over 95%. Only 3 kills because we weren't really able to carry. Like, I was kind of just farming damage. I don't think there really was anything I could do at the end to win the game, except maybe if I had pre-aimed that leopard. You know, the game I could have gotten more out of it, pushed over 10k damage. But you know, you know, hindsight is 20/20. You know, so. Our team pretty much hopeless here. I actually added it up. Our team did 9,800 damage, and we did 9,000, so pretty much doing the same damage as our entire team combined. Alright, to conclude, in case you're interested, 3-marking this tank, for me it took 178 battles, average damage was 4.3, and the average assist was just under 900. To push it up those last like 10-15 games, the combined is probably like 5.5, 5.4. It was quite ridiculous. Like, this tank does have very, very high expected. It's like, it's not quite that like 907, but it is pretty high. So is the 430U the best tier 10 medium? I'm not sure. I like the 907 still really good, obviously. I can't say for sure, but I do think it is one of the most competitive tanks in this game right now, and it kind of makes the 113. I already didn't. I'm not really a fan of the 113. I don't really like it. I find it kind of sluggish, but I do think this the 430U makes the 113 fairly irrelevant in my opinion. So yeah, this tank is ridiculously strong. It's just some more power creep, and yeah, that's about all I have to say for it. Hope you guys enjoyed this this third mark video and this kind of a semi review of this this new tank, and I'll catch you guys later.